It was a big project to do in 10 weeks. If I look back at the whole thing, I'll faint. Lots of people all the time doing physically challenging things. Operation Buffalo is about the atomic testing that occurred in Maralinga in 1956. Australians gave the British permission to bomb us over years, drop nukes on us and dirty bombs and all sorts of things in the name of the glorification of the empire.
I'm sure it's all tickety-boo.
I was approached by Tanya Fegan, who was a producer working at Porchlight. So we'd meet on a Friday, after we did the last season of Break, we'd meet on a Friday for 5 or 6 hours, and I'd go away and write it. And then I'd come back with a number of storylines that we didn't discuss.
Well, get on with it then.
What attracted me to the project was making a Cold War drama into which I could inject a little bit of satire.
One must say, as leader of this vital mission, as one surveys this symbol of progress which only we British can make. Actually, looking at it from this angle, really just a crater, isn't it? Or am I missing something?
No, it would appear to be just a crater, sir.
Well, I must say that's a tad underwhelming.
Arguably the biggest challenge I felt was a weight of responsibility to two things, and despite the fact that it's historical fiction, I wanted to get the sense of history right. I also wanted to make sure that despite my embarrassing ignorance of the Indigenous situation out there, I wanted to be respectful of that. We had a couple of trips to the Oak Valley community and to Maralinga before we shot because we wanted to consult with the community, which we did, and seek their approval. We couldn't shoot at Maralinga because there's a third of the space has been remediated, but only a third. 2/3 of it still has plutonium in it. So I think they said they dropped about 23 kilograms of plutonium during this, and at less than 1 gram will kill you if you get it in your bloodstream.
That's one of the great things about science. It's a marvelous conversation stopper.
In terms of the actual production, we shot most of it out at Potts Hill. There's a huge reservoir out there, and our fabulous production designer, Colin Gibson, who did Fury Road, built the camp out there. So we were in Sydney for most of the shoot. Then we went out to Parachilna, which is north of Adelaide. We were given access to a private property which is incredibly vast. And we did shoot at Maralinga, the biggest airstrip in the Southern Hemisphere. It's the only place in the Southern Hemisphere where a space shuttle can land. Martin McGrath, who's our cinematographer, he not only shot Rake, he shot my first film, Children of the Revolution. He also shot Passion, a little bit of Soul. So we've been doing it for 25 years. He's done a number of films in which the landscape is so rich, and he has an eye for character in the landscape. I know that sounds obvious. I think he does a very beautiful job, and there was a great advantage in the fact that we've worked together so much. There's a shorthand. I know it sounds slightly closed-minded, but if you're lucky enough to find someone you really enjoy working with, it's a privilege.
Australia is clearly doing its bit.
We were fortunate enough to get together a really top cast. Ewan Leslie, who is a rising, if not risen, star in our firmament. Jess DeGow, who's a bit of an international star already. James Cromwell, of course, from Babe and LA Confidential. Tony Martin, great, beautiful actor. And I really let them go, I wanted them to capture the time. And 56 was a time when if you wanted to work as an ABC journalist, you had to sound British. And if you wanted to be a successful Conservative politician, you had to sound British, because that's what was the expectation.
I'm so relieved.
I'm fond of this expression from Arthur Miller, betrayal is the only truth that sticks. So ultimately, Operation Buffalo is about, to a great extent, about betrayal, and set in a time when no one trusted anyone. And at the moment, with the virus, that is literally a phenomenon that's spreading around the world. And so I think it's a very relevant time, not just for Australians to look at something like Buffalo, but for the world.